Usually on my channel, I advocate for the abolishment of the Second Amendment, the repeal of the Second Amendment, however you would like to word it, by reporting on mass shootings. And even though this story that I'm talking about today did not, thankfully, result in anybody being shot or anybody being murdered, I believe this is an important story to tell. Now, I am a leftist, an unabashed leftist, of course, but I am also not a Democrat. If any of you right-wing, radical, reactionary cucks want to jump in my comments and say, oh, you're just a Democrat or I'm caping for the Democrats, I don't care. I don't care. I don't live in America, so I'm not caping for any American politician or Congress or Congress member. The point of this content is to talk about the dangers of allowing the gun culture in America to continue to permeate. A few days ago, we had the assassination of Shinzo Abe, who was the former prime minister of Japan, and something very similar could have happened in America, very likely to happen in America again, because people are obsessed with the gun. The gun culture in America is the main problem. No matter how many stories I tell or how many stories you read independently away from this channel about people being killed by guns or people using guns to save their lives or their families' lives, the problem is in America, the gun culture is leading to more destruction than it is positivity, to say the least. So I'm going to read this story and talk about it. Man suspected of hate crime for allegedly threatening to kill U.S. Rep. Pramila Jayapal. This was originally published July 12, 2022 and updated on July 12, 2022. So, a 48-year-old Seattle man was arrested Saturday on suspicion of a hate crime for threatening to kill U.S. Rep. Pramila Jayapal, according to King County prosecutors. A judge on Monday ordered the man remain in jail in lieu of $500,000 bail, but denied prosecutors' request for anti-harassment order protecting Jayapal, said Casey McNerthney, a prosecutor spokesman. Now, I have my own opinion about unreasonable bail. I believe in the Constitution it says that there shouldn't be unreasonable bail, but Americans can't really read past the first two amendments, the first and second. So the amendment related to unconstitutional bail, that's unreasonable. I believe this is being violated here. Then again, who am I? Jayapal, 56, is a former state senator who became the first Indian-American woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 2016. A Democrat, Jayapal represents Washington's 7th Congressional District, which includes most of Seattle. Jayapal was born in India and came to the U.S. at 16 to begin college at Georgetown University. Congresswoman Jayapal confirms that incidents occurred at her Seattle home on Saturday night when she was present. The Congresswoman and her family are safe and appreciate the many calls and good wishes she is receiving from constituents. Spokesperson Siham Zimnimber wrote in an emailed statement Monday evening. She is very grateful for the swift and professional response from the Seattle Police Department, the U.S. Capitol Police, and the FBI investigators who are working together diligently on the investigation and ensuring that she and her family stay safe. First and foremost, I just want to say many of the immigrants who come to America, especially Indian immigrants, not to be specific, but in general, these people work very, very hard to get their visas, study in the U.S., and try to assimilate into American society. I don't think, Native Americans, U.S. citizens, people who are born in the U.S. realize how hard it is for immigrants to come in. Many times you have to learn a new language, adapt to a new culture, duck from stray bullets, all sorts of stuff that you didn't have to do in India or Nigeria or China or wherever you came from. Now you have to adapt to American culture. And so a lot of immigrants love America way more than any native-born American ever will. So when these right-wing extremists want to threaten Pramila for saying she's anti-American or they threaten to kill her, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, guy, you didn't have to do anything to say you're American. These people had to go above and beyond to prove that they are worthy of being in the United States. And that's what makes me crazy. But anyway, I'll continue reading. Jayapal declined further comment because a police investigation is ongoing, the statement said. Public records show Jayapal and her husband live a half a mile from the man in Seattle's Arbor Heights neighborhood. Wow, so I'm pretty sure Arbor Heights is a pretty ritzy neighborhood if you have a U.S. Congressperson living there. And for a person who's 48 years old, You're a grown-ass man, and you've been so indoctrinated by right-wing conspiracy news stuff that you see this woman who lives in this very probably nice neighborhood, and you're so caught up in this bullshit that you've been hearing on Fox News and all the chants that you peruse that you want to go kill a woman. You are literally crazy. You're crazy. And you're a racist, probably. Probably he's a white supremacist racist. Fuck. And, fuck that guy, honestly. But most importantly, we'll probably never eradicate racism. We'll probably never eradicate bigotry. We'll probably never eradicate discrimination or people who have been indoctrinated with right-wing conspiracies. But what we can do in America is get rid of the guns. What we can do in America is make sure that America is a safer place for all of us. What we can do in America is make sure that nobody who's crazy could ever get a gun, because the guns are extremely hard to get or damn near impossible. It's been done before in Australia. It's been done before in New Zealand. It's been done before in many other places, and many other countries don't have the problems that we have because they have sensible gun control policies, or they outright ban assault weapons and high capacity magazines and that sort of thing. But hey, that's radical, right? Because the Second Amendment is God. It's God. Fuck it. Fuck it. Seattle police arrested the man outside Jayapal's house on 11:25 p.m. Saturday after she called 911 and reported an unknown person or people were in a vehicle outside using obscene language, according to a probable cause statement. She told a dispatcher her husband thought someone may have fired a pellet gun, but he wasn't sure, the statement says. Officers found the man standing in the middle of the street with his hands in the air and a .40 caliber handgun holstered on his waist. Oh, wow. The probable cause statement says police detained the man and secured the gun. Wow. A neighbor told police she heard the man yell something to the effect of, "Go back to India, I'm going to kill you," the statement says. The neighbor also saw and heard the man drive by Jayapal's residence at least 3 times, yelling profanities, according to the statement. What a sick, disgusting man. Like, what a loser. The white supremacists, the reactionaries, the conservatives, they're all losers. They're all losers. And listen, I'm not going to assume the race of the guy, but I could probably assume. But hey, I don't villainize white people on this channel. I don't villainize any group of people, because we're all Americans and we're all infested with the sickness of hatred towards other groups. As a multiracial democracy that's been in existence for well over 200 years now, we should be able to get together and come together and get along. But the problem still persists with the propaganda that's allowed to fester on the internet, and especially on white supremacist websites, and also Fox News and OAN and other stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to continue to have crazies running around, and we're making it worse by allowing them to have guns. The man told officers after his arrest that he knew who lives in the house and that he wanted to pitch a tent on their property, the statement says. Okay, yeah, he's trying to go to jail. Under state law, a hate crime, formerly called malicious harassment, is a Class C felony defined as intentionally injuring, damaging property, or threatening someone because of their perception of the victim's race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, or mental, physical, or sensory disability. Prosecutors expect to file criminal charges Wednesday. So I also think as a part of the protected classes, political ideology should be under there, but that's a different topic for a different day. So yeah, the guy who threatened Pramila Jayapal, you're a nut, you're crazy, but the society is crazier for allowing people to have guns in general. And I also want to say, before I wrap this video up, let this video be an example of somebody who has no ties to the Indian community, no ties to American Indians at all. Let this show that Black Americans will always stand up for other groups of people, and we just hope that Indian Americans, Asian Americans in general, will also do the same for us. Because every time there's a problem with another group of people, they're always asking Black people to come to the defense of them, but we hardly ever see them in the defense of us as we continue to be the victims of a white supremacist society in America and around the world. We just ask for the same support, because we're all salt of the earth people. We're all oppressed people. We're all people of color, though I hate that term. We're all former colonized people, former enslaved people, that sort of thing. So we have a mutual benefit to help each other, rather than a lot of rather than doing what a lot of Indian Americans do, which is try to reach for whiteness. And then whenever the white folks give you an N-word wake-up call, then you come back to us and want to throw up Black Lives Matter signs and stuff like that. So I'm not saying Pramila is representative of all Indian Americans. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm speaking up for this issue because this has nothing to do with black people, but has everything to do with human rights, human rights and dignity. We should be able to live in a multiracial democracy, multi-ethnic democracy, multi-religious democracy, multi-ideological democracy without resorting to violence. And we can also live in a society that doesn't allow people to commit mass acts of violence rampantly by allowing people to have guns. Crazy idea, maybe. I don't know. So, my name is Simon Hill. Thank you for watching.